Hello, good morning. It's just gone 5 a.m. on Wednesday, the 8th of April 2020. It's week 3 of the lockdown in the UK due to the coronavirus. I'm just out for my daily exercise. I'm going for about a 30-40 minute walk. This is my local shopping street, literally about 50-60 yards from where I live. You can see it's deserted at the moment. So my walk is, I'm heading up this road behind me, Maybrick Road. I'm going to get on the Two Tunnels Greenway at the top of St Kilda's Road, a couple of streets away. Then I'm going to walk along the Two Tunnels Greenway to the entrance of the first tunnel, Devonshire Tunnel. Just before I go into it, I'm going to then walk up over Bloomfield. In effect, I'm going to walk over the top of the tunnel. When you get to Devonshire Buildings on the bare flat, there's a very narrow stairway down and it brings you out into Lyncombe Vale, which is in between the two tunnels, in between Devonshire and Coombe Down Tunnel. So then I'll be at the far portal of Devonshire Tunnel. I'll just walk back the way I've come. I haven't ridden my bicycle outdoors since my last 200-kilometre Roadax, which was getting on for a month ago now. I personally have decided I'm not going to cycle outdoors. I referred to it in my last video. We're allowed to go out once a day and do exercise, and I want that exercise to be walking. Most days I'll go out with my wife, but I've just been wanting to do this early morning walk for about a week or so now, so I thought, I was up early this morning, Linda's still in bed, so I'm out by myself. I also said on the last video, I do appreciate we're very lucky, we've got quite a large house, so in effect I've got a home gym there. I'm now on the Greenway and I've walked about half a mile up towards the entrance of the first of the two tunnels, Devonshire Tunnel. I'm looking down there. You may just see the faint glow of the inside where the LED lights are lighting it. You also see dawn's not far away. May hear the dawn chorus as well. This is a real greenway, thin corridor of wildlife along here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn left and walk through what's called Bloomfield Open Space. This is Bloomfield Green Space. It's where the opening ceremony for the two tunnels was. April 2013, I think 7 years ago. This field was absolutely jam-packed full of people and stalls. In fact, my little company had a stall there. We were trying to promote cycling holidays along the Somerset and Dorset Railway. Although the track was lifted, it hasn't been used as a railway for over 50 years. Much of it is still rideable and walkable, and the scenery is still there. For me, the main attractions, and it's absolutely a fantastic cycling journey. I've left Bloomfield Open Space. I'm right behind the rear of the Devonshire Arms Public House. And this is Devonshire Buildings I'm going to turn into. And this runs alongside the back of Beeching Cliff School, which was my senior school. And it eventually makes a very steep drop down to the Wycombe area of Bath. That's the area near the town centre behind the railway station. And along here somewhere is a gap in these houses, and there's a very small narrow stairway that goes down into Lyncombe Vale. It'll bring me out at the far side of Devonshire Tunnel. Here we are, here it is here. Came down here so often when I was at school. It's been years since I've been down here. I'm near the bottom of that very narrow steep stairway, and you may hear the bird song all around me, dawn chorus, and dawn's almost about to break. The sky's very blue, but the smell here is overwhelming. I'm surrounded on both sides wild garlic. You won't see it on video, but I'm going to turn the flash on the camera and take a picture of it. Wow, this is pretty amazing. I'm on a pathway now, so it's a lot safer to walk and talk. This place is absolutely stunning, just crossing a little brook there, you hear the running water. Come to a T-junction of paths, I'm going to take the left, and that'll take me running along parallel to the old railway line, which is now the Two Tunnels Greenway, and somewhere along here there'll be a left-hand turn which will take me up onto the track bed itself. Then I can turn left again, double back on myself, and walk back through the tunnel. Coming out through that corridor of trees and the wild garlic, this is Lyncombe Vale. Wow, what a beautiful morning. I'm now right down alongside the old railway line. You can see there's a mini viaduct there. The footpath through Lyncombe Vale has brought me alongside the track bed and gradually up to the Two Tunnels Greenway. So that way off to my right would be Combe Down Tunnel and Midford, but I'm going to take a left, double back on myself, and this time I'm going to walk through Devonshire Tunnel. I mentioned as I was walking up through Bloomfield Open Space, that's where they had the opening festivities for the Two Tunnels Greenway about 7 years ago, I think, and I launched the company that day. It was organising cycling holidays, replicating a journey along the Somerset and Dorset Railway from Bath Green Park down to Bournemouth. I've been exploring it for years, and I gradually realised more and more of it was being opened up to walkers or cyclists, and it still generates a lot of interest. And one day I just thought, okay, the trains don't run anymore, but the things that appeal to a lot of people, me included, the scenery, the heritage and the history, it's all still there. Why not cycle it? So I designed a route that would replicate it, and about a third of the entire route is rideable actually, and the bits that aren't, they look just as good from a distance as they would have done on a train. So in essence, I organised cycling holidays along it, and although it didn't really go anywhere, excuse the pun, after about 18 months I decided to wind it up. We had some customers and we generally got positive feedback, but we weren't getting enough to make it sustainable. But what I did learn was a lot of really important skills, including some soft skills, made some really good contacts as well, which opened up other opportunities. Up to that time I kept hearing about soft skills and didn't really know what they were, to be honest. I thought it's just the latest sort of business word, buzzword. And then something happened to me when I was starting to get the business organised. I think it's a pretty good example of a soft skill, so let me try and explain an embarrassing moment for me. The trips for the customers would last 4 days, which involved 3 overnight accommodations, so I needed to organise that accommodation and build it into the itinerary. I visited each place to introduce myself to the owners and try and sell the idea to them. You know, they would do well out of it, the local economy would prosper, hopefully it would be good for us as a company, good for the visitors. And I turned up at the first one in a suit. I was trying to look credible, and it was clearly a mistake. I turned up in this suit, had my file under my arm with all the details, and I must have looked like a hotel inspector, and they were quite cold and a bit frosty towards me. And anyway, we agreed I would go back and discuss the details, and I realised I'd messed up straight away. And when I went back, I turned up deliberately on my motorbike in all my bike leathers. I remember I knocked the door, said, "Excuse my appearance, it's just Radstock is so busy this time of the day, I don't want to waste your time by being late, by being caught in traffic, so this is the best way for me to avoid that." And the difference was just overwhelming. They welcomed me in, we discussed it. They even agreed not to take payment until after the visitors have been, so that really aided my cash flow. So it was just a perfect example of, yes, if you're in a business and corporate setting, probably a suit and being clean shaven is very, very wise thing to do. But in an informal environment, I would say think carefully about that. It can sometimes be the worst possible thing you can do. So I would class that as an important lesson in soft skills that I learned during that period of my life. On the day of the opening of these tunnels, the crowds were just phenomenal. Even the organisers were just completely overwhelmed by it. I don't think they expected the numbers. It was a really sunny day, which helped. Because we had the table set up to promote the business, I didn't get a chance to ride through that day. I came through the very next morning and I was just blown away. I'd walked through these tunnels as a young boy, I guess in the late 60s, early 70s, after it had been closed, but before they sealed them. And so to come through, what was that, 20, 25 years later, was just absolutely amazing. I've loved coming through them ever since. Today's really special, just to have this all to myself. My big cycling goal, the 1,300 kilometre DIY Audax for this year, has been postponed, not cancelled, because I intend to ride it in June of next year. What I'm going to do when the lockdown does ease off is set myself a little goal of doing a mini series of Audaxes. I want to get back up to at least 200 kilometre fitness before the end of the year, if possible. I'm going to ride a series of my own DIYs, 50 kilometres, 100 kilometres, 150 kilometres, and then hopefully get back up to 200 kilometres, if possible, by the end of the year. So it's like almost like a little mini Super Randonneur series. It's just really helping keeping me focused, having that sort of goal to aim for later in the year. Here we are, back at the other entrance, the Bloomfield open space entrance. Nice and light now. I love that stonework. Back at the portal near Bloomfield Open Space again. There's the bench with the triple statue behind me. Absolutely fantastic walk. Being up here just before dawn, having that amazing walk down through Lyncombe Vale. The smell of garlic was just amazing, and hearing all the bird song and the dawn chorus, walking through the tunnel just as dawn's breaking, and now, well, you can see the sky's very, very light. I'm just spending a few minutes savouring the moment here on this bench with these amazing statuettes behind me. I'm going to head back home, half a mile or so, have breakfast with my darling wife Linda, and then the stonemasons will be arriving about 8 AM. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video. It's been nice sharing what I've been up to, this walk, and also some future plans. Meantime, as usual, thanks so much for watching, and stay safe everybody, stay healthy. Till next time.